080 and 0960-747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts, for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The happy world of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FMA News at 18:30 with Judith Mwape. The headline: House of Chiefs raises concern over Fred members' proposal to appoint traditional leaders into state offices. And Ford Banda slams UPND for unleashing cabinet ministers to campaign in the upcoming Kayo ward by-election. Somali soldier who killed comrades was ex-Al-Shabaab fighter. And now the news in detail. The House of Chiefs says a recent proposal by Socialist Party's Fred Membe to appoint traditional leaders into state offices at provincial and district levels directly contradicts the fundamental principles enshrined in the Zambian constitution. According to House of Chiefs chairperson Chief Chisunga, the proposal is incompatible with the constitution, which is the very foundation on which the country is built on. In a statement availed to 5FM News, Chief Chisunga has expressed concern that appointing chiefs to state offices could potentially disrupt the peaceful coexistence of various tribal groups because traditional leaders are known to be unifiers of all people regardless of their political associations. He explains that the Constitution clearly assigns functions to chieftaincy and traditional institutions as custodians of customary law and culture over defined territorial boundaries. The traditional leader said while politicians are free to offer ideas of how they want this country to be governed, they should desist from propagating ideas which are outrightly divisive. The Lamba people of the province, which is also found in parts of central and northwestern provinces, has backed President Hakainde Hichilema's firm stance not to yield to cessation demands by the Barotse royal establishment. In a statement, the Lamba people president, Jimmy Katanga, says President Hichilema swore to protect the Republican Constitution and should be commended and supported by all patriotic Zambians who cherish peace, unity, and prosperity for the country. Mr. Katanga has reiterated that Zambia is a unitary sovereign state and a country called Barotseland does not exist. He claims that there is only a region called Western Province, a part of Zambia inhabited by different tribes such as the Mbundas and Nkoyas, including the Lozis. Mr. Katanga finds it retrogressive and regrettable to note that at the time when African states are seeking unity, a section of society should want to agitate for division. The government has welcomed the newly formed United Kwacha Alliance, saying it is a sign of widening democratic space. Addressing the media this afternoon, Information Minister Cornelius Mwetwa assured that the government will not stand on the way in the registration process of the alliance for as long as the legal provisions are fulfilled. Mr. Mwetwa has, however, wondered why the same people who have formed the alliance have been in the forefront, claiming that the country's democratic space is shrinking when they are free to form such groupings. He has advised the opposition parties to provide credible checks and balances for the growth of the country.
So they can go ahead to register their party, and the party in government has no interest whatsoever other than appreciating that the democratic space in this country is widening. We are also happy to note that this particular political party alliance comes in at a time when the same people who are forming this party have been alleging shrinking democratic space in this country. And quite contrary, their own actions have shown that the democratic space in this country is expanding because actions speak louder than words.
Meanwhile, Mr. Mwetwa says the government is wishing former Information Minister Chimba Kambwili, who has been evacuated to South Africa, a quick recovery.
So wish him well. The government Republic of Zambia has lawfully evacuated him to South so that he can be attended to specialized medical treatment. Unlike what he had done to run away to go and hide in Zimbabwe. He had to be brought back. And to show that President HH and his administration mean well, he was brought back and said, now you go now lawfully so that you can recover quickly, other than looking over your shoulders, who is coming here, maybe I'm being followed. You know why?
The opposition People's Alliance for Change has expressed shock over what it has termed as the casual manner in which the UPND administration is running the affairs of the country. The party has accused the UPND administration of failing to focus on important national issues to an extent of unleashing 5 cabinet ministers to campaign in the upcoming Kayo Ward by-election in Mwansabombo district, slated for the 15th February 2024. Party leader Andy Ford Banda says this is not only a reflection of lack of priorities, but the extent to which the UPND lacks commitment to keep their campaign promises. Mr. Banda recalls that the ruling party was on top of their voice during their time in the opposition, condemning PF ministers who were leaving their offices to campaign during a by-election. He says not only did they condemn this kind of behavior, but also promised the Zambians how they would cut down the costs of running by-elections once in office. Mr. Banda is concerned that having 5 ministers campaigning in a ward by-election is not only saddening, but a clear sign of the UPND's lack of priorities for the country.
The party also promised to cut down on expenses spent in by-election, but as of today, there's no plan on the table, and them having 5 ministers in a small by-election campaigning is a clear sign of their lack of commitment to keep that campaign promise. Secondly, we would think that the UPND government will not attend to the issues affecting the country in a casual manner, but attach the seriousness that it deserves.
The Advocacy for Child Justice has expressed concern over the recent violations of children's rights to privacy and dignity by socialites, vloggers, and social media personalities. In recent weeks, videos, pictures, and audios featuring named vloggers have emerged online depicting the alleged child of a specific vlogger and another individual. Organization Executive Director Josephat Njovu says videos, images, and audio recordings featuring minors circulated online blatantly disregards the laws of Zambia and infringe upon the fundamental rights of these children. Mr. Njovu says such actions violate the rights of the child as established by Zambian laws. He explains that in the video clips, the vloggers are heard discussing the child's parentage, thereby subjecting the child to potential social media bullying, which contradicts Zambia's laws safeguarding children. Mr. Njovu has urged government and stakeholders to address these issues promptly and enforce existing laws protecting children from privacy breaches, exploitation, and online abuse.
While the Cybersecurity and Cyber Crimes Act number 2 of 2021 does not explicitly address online protection of children's privacy, it prohibits the publication of information compromising the safety and security of individuals, which includes children. Additionally, Section 69 of the same act criminalizes electronic communication intended to coerce, intimidate, harass, or cause emotional distress with severe penalties.
Another story trending this evening. The Center for Trade Policy and Development is calling on the government to provide an update on the performance of loans and grants being offered to beneficiaries under the Constituency Development Fund. The Zambia Consumer Association has observed with concern that the prolonged dry spells, which have resulted in several fields wilting, is posing serious threats to the country's food security. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Siavonga Town Council has commissioned the opening of Access Roads project within the Central Business District and other surrounding areas. The project is being implemented in partnership with a private company, Razel Beck Limited. The company has provided the machinery to help in opening up the access roads, while the local authority provided fuel amounting to 49,000 kwacha from the local generated funds. Council Chairperson Given Kwapu revealed that the local authority has partnered with Razel Beck Limited to help open up access roads in the district for the betterment of infrastructure development in terms of roads. Mr. Kwapu said the project is meant to open up new locations so that it would be easy to move around the district, including those that would be interested to visit Siavonga.
This road actually that you are seeing here is the one that is going to link the hospital side. So even an ambulance will be able to pass here instead of being congested from the other side. So this is not the only road that we are doing. We are doing other roads also, trying to open up new locations so that people, those who will be willing to come to Siavonga, it will be very easy. And I know majority people across the country, when they talk of Siavonga, they get discouraged when they look at the terrain of the mountains and all that. Now this time, we have done it correctly.
That ends the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And now in foreign news, the soldier who attacked a military base in Mogadishu and killed 5 foreign troops was a member of the militant group Al-Shabaab. Multiple sources report that the attacker had defected from Al-Shabaab before being recruited as a soldier by the Somali National Army. It has exposed the lack of strict background checks in the recruitment process of army soldiers. Here's a roundup from the BBC.
Tunisia's National Guard says at least 17 Tunisian migrants who were in a boat heading for Italy are missing. Those aboard, who include a 5-year-old child, set sail in a fishing vessel last week. Coast guards and naval forces, backed up by helicopters, are searching for them. Hundreds of German farmers have used their tractors to block roads near a major arms manufacturing plant just hours before Chancellor Olaf Scholz is due to lay the foundations for a new ammunition factory. Their protest is directed against the government's agricultural policies. Emergency workers in the southern Philippines say they're giving up hope of finding more survivors from a landslide 6 days ago. The landslide engulfed homes and vehicles in the mountainous gold mining village of Masara on Mindanao Island. The number of people confirmed dead has risen to 68, with 51 still missing. Hundreds of people in a remote village in northern Ethiopia are continuing efforts to rescue a group of miners trapped in a cave. The authorities in Delanta district say it's difficult to bring heavy rescue equipment to the remote area.
And finally, in sports news, President Hakainde Hichilema has saluted Zambian referee Diana Chikotesha for being the first woman assistant referee to officiate a men's AFCON final. The president says Zambia is back in the Champions League. Chikotesha was appointed second assistant referee in Sunday's 2023 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations final, which saw Ivory Coast being crowned African champions. And now the weather report brought to you by Classic On.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chineka Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Muchinga, northern, Luapula, and eastern provinces are partly cloudy, slightly windy and mild, with isolated rain and thunder. Copperbelt, northwestern, western, southern, Lusaka, and central provinces are partly cloudy, windy at times, and mild. That ends the weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chineka Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
And that weather report brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. House of Chiefs raises concern over Fred members' proposal to appoint traditional leaders into state offices. Andy Ford Banda slams UPND for unleashing cabinet ministers to campaign in the upcoming Kayo ward by-election. Somali soldier who killed comrades was ex-Al-Shabaab fighter. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Mwabe. Good evening.